Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're back from LegionsCon, and today we're going to be looking at Saturday's LegionsCon exclusive, Vorgus Vermillius 2. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by, and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Alright, taking a closer look at the package here. You can see it does have a weird errant piece of tape right here that doesn't belong. Yeah, you can see just about everything he comes with in the package. You have the Vorgus Vermillius 2 right there. We have the Lithia faction. We have we don't have a bio of him right there on the side, just a picture, but there we have some nice, beautiful artwork by Nate Barch. And then here is the write-up for the armor. Basically, this is a set of armor that is enchanted, and the wearer is granted near godlike powers, but it does destroy their minds. So let's get this guy opened up and take a closer look. Starting off with his accessories here, we do come with this nice elven sword that's also used for the vampires as well. It's beautiful. It's got some nice black and red tones on the hilt. Nice, dark silver blade. I really dig that. We have this nice staff. It comes in two pieces. This is the tip right here. This nice spear looks really cool. It's got some really nice detail. Silver blade. It's got a wood grain texture. There's some black and red bands all the way around it. There's some rivets right there at the connecting piece, which looks really cool. And then all these like runes that are, have this glowing red effect to them. Looks really nice. We do have this elven and vampire axe that we've seen a bunch. I still love this weapon. It looks really, really good. He also comes with just a standard 1.0 style belt. He does come with some really cool shoulder pauldrons. We've seen these before with the Gorgo Aetherblade 2.0, but I love the weathering that's on here. The red, dark red paint, but the bright red accents looks really cool. And then we have the first head, and this is my favorite head of the pack. I love that you can see the vampire face through there. I love these horns, the red on the top. This is the same head that we got recently in the Reinforcements Wave 2 line with the Vampire Phalanx. I believe this is also the head that came with the PowerCon exclusive Operator 83 or Operative 83, I believe. So we have seen this head before. It just looks great. I love these horns curling out to the side. This is definitely my favorite head of the group. Then we have this nice translucent head, which I believe is the LegionsCon exclusive piece. Now, this is also the same head that we got before in the All-Star Wave 5 head pack, just cast in this translucent plastic. And I do have this little black light here, and just wanted to show how it kind of like lights up under light and how translucent it is. It looks really cool. I believe this piece is the exclusive piece. So like when Vorgus Vermillius 2 is released later in 2024, you won't get this head, I believe. Now here's the cape he comes with. You can see everywhere there's stitching, there's wire. It is a very thin wire though, but we'll get to that later when we get to posing this figure around. And then here's the other head that comes on Vorgus, and of course we've seen this helmet before. This is the helmet that also does come with the Gorgo Aetherblade 2.0. This is basically this is the Gorgo Aetherblade 2.0 body. You can see the little hooks there on the chest for the cape and how that works. But I just absolutely love this dark red color with these bright red like line work painted in here. It just on the chest, it looks like blood is like coursing through this armor, which looks really cool. I love the red on the helmet, the bright red details on the arms and on the rivets, and even on this little butt flap here. I think that looks really cool that they added there. You can see that he does have that same bright red detail work on the upper thighs. The legs have this really nice dark wash on them to make sure that they're like dark and gritty and dirty. And man, just the detail here is insane. Even though we've seen this body before, just changing the colors just really changes the way the armor looks, and it goes along with the story. So let's pop this head off and see what the other heads look like. Like I was saying earlier, it's a really simple story. The armor is enchanted. It grants the wearer godlike powers, but it does drive them insane, and they lose themselves because of the power of the armor. And so that's a pretty cool story. So the armor also changes depending on who's wearing it. That's also pretty cool too. So here's that head on the body. It just looks insane. God, I love that so much. I love the way that looks. That just looks incredible. That is, to me, this is like with the cloak, this is how this figure is going to go on my shelf for forever. This just looks incredible. Let's go ahead and pop the translucent head on there. This head doesn't have a lot of give to it because translucent plastic isn't very pliable. It's very stiff and sturdy, but it's not popped on all the way. But man, that thing just looks incredible. And let's see here. Let me just, just for the fun of it, let's pop on that head. And that's what the wearer would have looked like maybe when he first put the armor on, and he hasn't gone insane with power yet. It kind of looks like this is him before he puts on the helmet. This is him after the helmet has like consumed his face. And then this is what he would probably look like after years of wearing the armor and losing his mind to the power of the armor. So let's go ahead and try to get this cloak on, and I'm going to try to remember how I did this with Gorgo Aetherblade, because it's got these little hooks in the front with these little elastic bands, and you want to kind of like hook them around here. And I can't remember if putting the pauldrons on first was the easiest way or putting these on, and I want to say it may have been the other way, where you put the pauldrons on first. But basically, you can see here what you'll want to do is kind of feed that pauldron post through that other elastic strap, and I think that's what we're going to try to do here before I pop these in all the way. Okay, so what I've done here is I've put the pauldron post through the first piece of elastic string, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. What you want to do is you just want to push this is how I do it. I don't know if this is the correct way, but this way works for me, and it gets on there pretty well. So there you have it. You just put the strap through the post, and then just push the post in on the shoulder pauldron, and these are pretty sturdy posts, so they go in pretty well. And then all you want to do is you just want to get something kind of sharp. You can see you just kind of have to feed it underneath there. So we're just going to grab maybe this sword right here, and we're just going to see if we can grab this elastic band, and we're going to pull it over the shoulder, and we're going to hook it onto this little hook. There may be a better tool to use than the sword. You definitely don't want to break the sword, but if you can, kind of get this little loop to go around. If anybody's got a better way of doing this, please let me know in the comments down below. But this is how I have found to do it. Then you just put it around there, and then it hooks on, and then you've got it connected through the back post of the pauldron and the front post on these little hooks. And then once you get it situated, it's in there pretty good, and that cape is not coming off. And you can pop your head of choice on, and there you have it. You've got Vorgus with his cape, and man, it looks pretty nice. So like I said before, the wiring on here is not the thickest. I would have liked it to be a little thicker. You can pose it, but as you can see, it's not going to the weight of the cape is just too heavy. And so you can pose this, but you're not really going to get that windswept look. You're not going to really be able to like have this thing like blowing in the wind. I mean, that's about the best I could probably get with something like that. It's just that the cape is kind of heavy and the wire is a little thin, and that's okay. Maybe this isn't meant to be, a superposable cape, but it just to give you a little bit of, variety and it hold a little bit of a shape. It can do that. I really like how the ends of this kind of look like tendrils of smoke, like kind of coming off this guy. I really dig that. I think that's kind of cool. I like the design of this cape. It is something new and different, and it's not your average everyday cape that you see all the time. So let's see how this guy looks with a couple of his weapons in his hand. Let's go ahead and give him, maybe his spear here, and see what that kind of looks like. Probably have to open that hand up a little bit. There we go. Get that open a little bit further. That looks really cool. Knocked one of the horns off. Let's get that fixed. And yeah, I think he looks really great holding that spear. This may be how he goes on my shelf. I really dig that spear. I don't think I have a vampire soldier on my shelf holding a spear. Here we have him wielding that axe, which looks really cool. That thing is like super imposing and menacing, and I dig it. That looks really cool. But let's do a few size comparisons here like we always do. Let's bring in a couple of extra characters for size comparisons. Here's how he stands up next to a bog goblin. And of course, we're going to bring in old Bill Bones' broken shield here, and you can see how he fits in and scales with your other mythics. So let's get these guys out of the way and get old Vorgus here into some backgrounds and into some lighting and see how he poses up. Man, I got to tell you that this was probably one of my most anticipated exclusive this year when I saw that it was released earlier, and I knew that I was going to be able to make it to LegionsCon. I don't have the first Vorgus Vermillius figure. I love my vampires. I love ornate armor, and you put these two together. I just think it's a match made in heaven. I think probably the vampires and skeletons are probably my favorite characters in all of the Mythic Legions line. So this figure here is just straight up my alley, 100%. I love this guy. He poses great. He looks menacing, and he is pretty much incredible, top to bottom. I just love this guy. And if you missed out, don't worry. He will be available tomorrow, November 17th at noon Eastern on Store Horseman for those who missed the con and weren't able to go, but you better act fast because these figures will go quick. And if you miss out tomorrow, don't worry, you'll be able to get a standard release of this figure in early 2024. He just probably, I don't think he comes with the translucent head. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark, and I will see you in the toy aisles.